Hi guys! Just want to talk about a little something that's been on my mind because I try to figure it out when it happens, and I've realized something, so I'd like to pass it on. Basically, some people will only like you if you fit into the comfortable illusion that they populate. So you actually might rise through a few levels with them, like a few changes, but then there's a threshold. Like past that, they can no longer go. You basically hit a trigger that's too deep, or you've changed too far past their comfort zone. So basically that thing turns into a reason to basically not associate as much with you anymore because you've basically reached their limit. But I'm here to basically tell you that we are not beholden to other people's limits, okay? We're not defined by other people's thoughts or beliefs or limitations or, limits that they will not go past. Because I see it a lot. It's kind of, in a way, an excuse or something that ends up holding us back personally because we feel that if we grow past that limit, we will lose those people or those things will leave our lives. And perhaps that's the case, but I don't feel that we came here to play safe and to play by those rules, because at the end of the day, at least for me, after many years of experimenting with this, I realized that it meant more to me not to lose my soul than it meant to keep playing games. And honestly, the games run deep. Like, you can play the games of labels, you can call yourself things or be stuff, you can play the games of different friend groups, you can play the game of what country you come from and what factions are within that country and which groups associate and which don't. Like, there are just so many games to play that I suppose people still associate with in terms of the in-group and the out-group and things like that. And I found that over time I was really willing to cut these things out of my life because I was in the search for something more stable, which was actually myself. I didn't care to stay associated with anything that was holding me down. But how did I figure this out? How did this happen? The basic answer is that everything fell apart. Things had to reach an extreme darkness. Like a level of darkness I don't think many go through. But at the same time, the kind of darkness that you go through that's relative to yourself might be extreme torture, whether or not it's more in quantity for somebody else. So I'm not trying to say here that you need to go through more torture in order to get to where you want to go. I'm saying that basically I lost myself. And I had to claw myself back from that. I lost myself through losing my identity, my personality, my friends, my worldview, losing what I thought I knew was true. Basically, things cracked open in a way. And it's a blessing because it's allowed me to remake myself. It's allowed me to every single day remake what I know about the world and rebuild and change myself. So I'm just trying to give you a reminder that if you decide to go further than people's limitations, you might lose a person or two. You might lose a comfortable circumstance. But what do you stand to gain? Like, what might you find on the other side if you choose to pursue your inner truth? Like, let's say you're a lot more brave and a lot less limited, and you think that you can go for it. And you think that what they believe about something is nonsensical, and no thank you. You're not going to believe in a limitation about this thing. For example, we must remain in these types of toxic bonds, or this is the way that it is, or we can't make these decisions because we're going to get robbed, or it's going to be scary, or mostly fear programming. We can choose to believe in those things if we want, but honestly, the only thing that's going to happen is, if you believe in those things, is you're going to manifest them. Like, you're going to basically play safe because of them. So what would happen if instead of a limiting belief, you introduced something like, actually, I'm going to question that. Or I'll try. Even if I fail, it'll be worth it because I'll learn something. And what about the time that you try and you don't fail? What about that? I mean, that's worth being alive for, because you could bring something beautiful into the world. Do you think bringing beautiful things into the world happens because we try once and we fail and then we're like, all right, I guess it's not worth it, and we stop? It's going to take a lot of blood and tears to get anywhere that you want to go. Basically, I have found it useful for me in my journey to remind myself that if I'm losing something, I'm gaining something. If I'm losing something that was uncomfortable, there's something better on the way. Or maybe I was meant to lose that. Like, I'm not really here to just play safe. If somebody can't tolerate me because I go past their limiting belief, that isn't on me to figure out, because we're not exactly here to pacify everybody and say it sweet so everyone can get it. Like, they're either going to get you or they're not. Like, there are people out there that need to hear your voice, need to hear your message. Your particular lessons and perspectives, they're not for everybody, but they sure as hell are pieces of your soul, like bits of your soul family that are waiting for you to say something, waiting for you to call out into ether and say, hey, I'm here. This happened to me and I'm choosing to overcome it. I don't know what's coming. I don't know who I'll meet and what will happen, but I'm ready for it. And that is what I wanted to say. Have a beautiful day, guys.